everyone. Welcome to the Quick Resume podcast. You've joined us at a giggling moment. Thanks for coming. My name's Deck. I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Tim, the Fragger, the Friar. We've got boy stuff today. There's Halo. There's gossip. There's Xbox shitstorms. Tim, how you, buddy?
What more can you want?
What more can you want? Yeah. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
How you doing for this huge episode?
This huge episode. Well, to be honest, I'm quite excited to talk about Halo because I've actually experienced it for the first fucking time.
Yeah.
Because for anyone who doesn't know, there was a flighting this weekend that was like public for everyone. Multiplayer one, the first multiplayer one, so not bots.
It wasn't public.
Was it not public?
You still had to sign
it's
up.
Public in the sense that I guess it's not open, but yeah, it just takes like a quick sign up on Halo Waypoint, which I'm sure everyone's done.
Yeah, I think they're planning to make the next one public, so like you can just download it from the store. So I said next weekend. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, I guess there is quite a difference, isn't there? Like to us, it seems so easily inaccessible because you literally just put it in your email and Halo Waypoint. But for the casual gamer who only plays like a couple hours a week, they still might have not done that. So it's not classified as open, is it?
For sure.
But yeah, man, I'm kind of excited to talk about it.
Me too.
But yeah, I had some internet issues this week, so I was getting my my internet upgraded from just standard like copper like internet to
gamer
fiber.
Internet.
To gamer internet, yeah. And also, I realized when I was on like 115 megabytes last night downloading that game, I didn't realize, but I was wireless as well, all the way upstairs in my room, which is pretty cool. Because normally I plug a cable, an Ethernet into my Xbox. And I didn't realize I was wireless the entire time.
Yeah.
So I got that installed on Thursday, and the guy came and he was so rushed, it was unreal. He was just like, I've got so many jobs after. He's like sprinting everywhere. You know those poles out on the fucking road? He climbed one of them without any safety equipment. He just fucking started scaling it like it was like Breath of the Wild.
Like a telephone pole.
Yeah. And he was like right at the top with nothing, not helmet, not harness, not anything. And he was like just whipping wires round. And I was like, what is happening? This is so not like up to code.
Poor guy. Putting his life at risk to install your gamer Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So, but then he fucked off. He was just like, because my internet was down. And he fucked off. And he was just like, well, I've done all I can do. They just have to activate it their end or something. Which is, he was right, because that is what they had to do. But he still kind of did it wrong. I think he took it from a different feed. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't have internet for like 2 days. I missed the first day of the flighting. And I was in our group chat just like, it seems like the universe just doesn't want me to play Halo Infinite. Like, I don't know what is going on.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
But yeah. So now I have gamer internet.
Yeah.
And I played Halo. So
you did it.
And what else have I been doing this week? With my internet being down for like 2 days, I started Final Fantasy VII, which is not Xbox related, so I'll go through it very quickly. But I've been playing that, and I think I sunk about 13 hours in like 2 nights into that. I literally played it for like six hours a night, give or take.
Lovely.
Because I had no TV or no anything, so that was like my movie and game.
It's quite nice when that happens, though, isn't it? Like, because there's no obligations to do anything else. You're like, I can just play a single player game, like no guilt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's so many cutscenes and so many just like so much dialogue in Final Fantasy VII that you genuinely can just put down your controller and like eat while cutscenes are going off and stuff like that, because it can be that sort of game. I think there's like a solid like, if you include all the cutscenes and stuff like that, I think there's like 20 plus hours of that in a playthrough. And like most people complete a playthrough in like 50 to 60 hours.
Jeez.
It's like a third of your game time is like cutscenes and stuff like that. So, but it's great.
Crikey.
I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, and I am very much enjoying it. It's bloody brilliant. And yeah, apart from that, we've dipped our toes a bit into Diablo 2 last night, which was quite fun. It was better once I realized I had a sense of direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still not absolutely crazy about it. But it's not bad. It's not bad.
At the very least, it will be good fun with friends.
Exactly.
God.
It's but yeah, I mean, I guess while we're talking about that as well, what's up with the whole you can't play that game in resolution mode at 60 frames?
I don't know. I know we're not the only ones to talk about it. I know other people have spoken about it. I have no idea.
Feel like that's kind of BS.
It's weird.
I mean, it's a nice looking game, don't get me wrong, but it's still a dated game.
I reckon,
like, why I can't play that at the highest resolution locked at 60, I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon it's obviously either because the game isn't like optimized well, or it's because, and I guess that's kind of an overlap, that the game is running like on the previous engine still. I think they've essentially like tinkered with the original Diablo 2 until it's gotten to the point where it looks like what it's at. So maybe the way that that's done, it just means that it runs significantly worse than it should. Yeah, we have to run it in performance mode, don't we? And I think that's like 1080p 60. I don't know. I'm assuming it is, but
yeah, which is still fine because you're not going to want to like stop and observe any of the textures and resolutions in there anyway. But it's just a principle that I'm playing like a fucking ridiculous, like a 30-year-old game, and I can't play it at the highest resolution.
Yeah, there's
or at least 4K resolution with 60 frames.
There are some games that you understand why that compromise has been made. You know, why you have to sacrifice one or the other, but for Diablo, it's like,
yeah, I was very shocked at that. But yeah, no, that's I mean, I'm sure we'll dive into those in a little bit more detail, but yeah, that's basically been my week. So, what about you, man?
Beautiful. I haven't been on that much this week. I don't think, have I? Nah, we've been playing like a bit of Destiny, haven't we? Back and forth, done some stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Which has been fun. To be fair, I'm glad that neither of us crumbled and bought the battle pass because now Diablo's out and our time's going to be divided. So whatever.
Yeah,
that's been good. I haven't had a chance to jump back on Metro. Yeah, I've just been waiting for Halo. Although I will say this isn't really game related, but more to do with like what. So like we have like this. We've got into a bit of a tradition of doing like a Sunday lunch on Sunday, because and usually my partner and a sister who obviously both live here, they will go out to this shop and like get all the stuff for it and then come back and they'll cook it because I cook in the week. So, her sister's at work today, and I went to this place and I've known about it because they tell me that they've gone there and that they found it and it's very, very cool. Anyway, it's called the clean kilo, like a kilogram, and it's one of these places that's like a zero waste shop. So everything is in a dispenser and you just take glass bottles, like containers, and you can buy containers there and you just like fill stuff up. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. And it's just this cute little old timey shop, and it was great. I had a greate time. Like we got oil,
yeah, man.
Like we got butter, obviously veggies. I mean, that's not new. Like veggies in wrapping, or like without waste. But stuff like that is just awesome. So big shout out to no waste shops around there. I've heard apparently other supermarkets and other shops are jumping on that trend a bit actually. Not trying to shout out. It was quite the experience.
Yeah, man, it sounds exciting.
It was so exciting. It sounds lame, but it was really exciting. I got like some frozen cookies as well. It's amazing.
Whoa,
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All packaged. Yeah, and I get to feel like I have the moral high ground because I didn't buy any packaging this week. So I mean that really is the most important part of the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure, man. We've got to look after our planet.
Exactly.
It's good that everything's taking a step in that direction.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's cool. Yeah, so but other than that, yeah, it's just been sort of anticipating Halo and like following the news around that. They did a big Halo. There was a big Inside Infinite earlier in the week where they spoke about loads of stuff and they spoke about the big team battle next week. But we probably won't cover that Inside Infinite this week because obviously we've just been playing it and we'll have more to talk about it kind of like through experience rather than what's been said. So it's mostly been that for me. Yeah. It's been good. It's been exciting. Exciting times.
Yeah, man.
So,
For sure.
I guess it's time.
Let's do it.
I guess
dive into Halo.
I guess it's Halo time. So, we if anybody's not following it, Friday was standard PvP Slayer. Saturday, so whenever that is by the time you're listening to this, hopefully last Saturday, was PvP, but with Slayer, Capture the Flag, and Stronghold, which is essentially like your 3-point cap domination from COD. And it was the same 3 maps rotated through all of them. This was the first time that Tim had played it, and we played with some friends. So everybody's already heard what I had to say in the last fighting. Tim, what are your impressions of Halo Infinite multiplayer?
Bitterly disappointed.
Worst game ever made?
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Oh my god. Bye Microsoft stonks. No man, I genuinely had a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I expected to have, to be honest. And I it was cool that there were multiple game modes as well, because we did play a lot of Slayer, and when we did get the occasional like Capture the Flag and what was the other one called? Control
Strongholds. Control
Strongholds. Control Forts. We're going to call it that for now.
Yeah.
Stronghold, and they felt so much different to Slayer, and it was so nice to play like a team objective again. It's been so long since I played CTF.
An objective game mode,
it's been
right?
so long, yeah. And it's been so long since I've played an arena shooter, like a 6v6, a 4v4, or what was it, 6v6? 4v4.
Yeah.
Just a standard like 4v4 like arena shooter, and genuinely just time flew by. Like, it's been so long since I've done that. It's been so long since the game has been able to capture my attention and hold me there. Like 3 hours went by just like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was a 4-hour flighting, but we stopped for like dinner for like 45 minutes. So
yeah fuck.
3 hours.
You shouldn't have, but we did.
It's stupid. Yeah, we had to force food down us. A bunch of idiots.
Put the drip on.
But yeah, those like 3 hours, 3+ hours, just went by like so quickly, and I was just having so much fun. And it just felt really good, man. It was super crispy. I had some really fucking awesome moments with all the equipment. I mean, you even spectated me for one of them. You were like, holy shit, man!
That was
what
amazing.
Just happened?
That was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that's what I did, because after that happened, I was like, I'm going to be honest, mate, because I had the repulsor. Is it called the repulsor?
Yeah, repulsor. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the repulsor, which reflects stuff back, and I have this issue where I keep thinking right bumper is the standard melee in Halo, and so this guy just like he like panicked, like started throwing nades at me at like point blank. Point blank. That was weird.
Point blank. Oink oink.
And I wanted to melee him, and instead I used the repulsor thing by mistake and like flung his own grenade back into his mouth and like blew him up. That was like, shit, man, that was hot. That was like fire.
You just didn't say anything. Like, you were just so casual about it. Just like, no biggie. I was like,
yeah,
because
I was like, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know what happened.
What I saw.
I looked at the
because what I saw happen was you threw a grenade and it like went past him, and then he came up to you and you blasted him back into the grenade that like flew past him and he just exploded.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just a blur.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was weird because I looked in the bottom left and I saw a grenade symbol of how he died. I was like,
oh,
huh. could have sworn I punched him, but okay. And yeah, man, I've just had some really cool moments like that. There was also, I've had so many cool moments with the drop shields as well, where I've like blocked rocket launchers and stuff like that, which is so handy. The amount of times I genuinely like baited out a rocket launcher shot, because you know the travel time is quite slow on them. So if someone sees you at the other end of the map, I was literally just like, fire at me, bro. And then as soon as I saw him fire, I was just drop shield, done. Wasted rocket, mate. Get fucked. So yeah, it's just really cool. Even like the most simple equipment feels really good to use. And it all feels really balanced, which I was quite surprised about as well. All like extremely balanced. Nothing crazy or wacky was going on. where I was literally just like, that's bullshit. Like, what even happened there? It all flows really nicely into the game. Nothing seems overpowered. And yeah, man, it was just shooting feels crispy, as always, feels brilliant. Love the BR, love the commando as well, which I heard recently got a buff because I heard it was kind of shit in the previous fighting. Kind of hot shit now, man. Like, I got a perfect on someone. You get those perfect medals of nothing but headshots. Yeah, exactly. Guys, the announcer.
Yeah, Jeff Stites, are you around?
Yes, I got a few perfects on people with the commando, and it just drops, man. Yeah. I think it's like 4 or 5 headshots to perfect them, but you can do that pretty much as fast as your finger can pull the trigger, and it is insane how quick.
It's a cool weapon, yeah.
If you can track like really well with it. And again, I feel like it's perfectly balanced. Like, as much as that TTK is ridiculous. Like, that is so hard to pull off, like, with the commando, like, to track someone's head like that and hit them 5 times, like, that quickly.
Yeah.
It's mental. And you got a bit of recoil to deal with as well. It doesn't just sit there. So, like, yeah. had a fantastic time.
I'm so happy that we are both loving it. And I feel like we both have had the same reaction. Like, even, I think all our friends have had the same reaction. Like, we've gone into it expecting it to be fun, but probably not grab our attention like loads. But you boot it up and you just move around and everything looks really good. Like, the shooting feels really good, and then you start playing it more, and like, just every game another layer of depth comes out. It's like, oh, I can slide down this to like get more speed. Oh, I can use that equipment against this weapon. Oh, I can use this equipment to enhance the ability of this, like, and it just like stacks on stacks and stacks, and then you get objective modes involved, and you get teammates and like coordination and pings and all of that, and it just keeps going. And like, that's, I think, like, the real hook. That's the thing. I wasn't anticipating it to have a real hook, which it does.
Like, and we haven't experienced any of the progression system. Well, I mean, they've given us a taster of it, but like, we haven't experienced any of the progression system really, in terms of currency and unlocking armors and like the proper battle pass, all that kind of stuff. And I was still just game after game, like, let's go. I wanted to carry
straight
on
in, yeah.
And that was solely from the gameplay,
yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if there's like skill-based matchmaking in the flighting or anything like that, but like, we were having some
real nail biters.
No game was like a stomp, and but it wasn't like crazy sweaty. But I think we had about 3 games of Slayer last night that we won 50-49.
Yeah. We did.
And like, the call outs were like fucking esports.
It was, yeah.
We were just like, bottom left church.
Yeah.
It's just like, on it.
Top of tower, grab Schwanker. Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it was so like,
it's just refreshing,
it was
though.
So fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where to start, because I kind of want to go through it bit by bit, but it's hard to know where to start. But like, it's obviously like, I'm beaming ear to ear knowing that you've been enjoying it as much as I am, even though you refuse to customize your Spartan.
It's become a principle thing at this point. I know it annoys you, so I'm just not doing it.
Default recruit Spartan, yeah. So I mean, where do we even start? Maybe just like gunplay. Mm-hmm. Because to me, like, this is always the most important thing of really any game, to be honest. And I think I even said last week that I've like become like a real snob with first-person shooters. So if something feels even a little off, I'm like. But to me, like, Halo feels like near perfect, which again is surprising because we come from playing Apex for like the last 2 years, and Apex is probably one of the best, if not the best, like, feeling shooter around. It's like tweaked. I don't know if it's made on the same COD engine. What even is that engine? But, it feels like old school COD, but it's like refined and tuned just more and more, which isn't a bad thing, because the gunplay in those games feel really good. That's what it's known for.
Yeah.
But Halo has its... And the thing is, Halo has its own thing. That's the thing. When I'm playing Apex, it's really familiar, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like... It feels like the way the guns move and you kind of traverse, other than like sliding and, the additional movement abilities. Feels familiar, like, a little bit COD-y, whereas Halo feels very much like its own thing. but it just feels so smooth. And I love the speed, you know, the whole thing where like sprint is there, but you actually walk quite quickly. I love that you can like like, you know, the crouching is more accessible in this one versus previous Halos where it was just a bit weird. So you can use like, you can jump to like in gunfights, slide, bag shot, all of this stuff. And the mantle as well, because I know a lot of people have had problems with mantle. I think maybe I'm moving into movement rather than gunplay, but it's part of it, you know. Mantle feels not overbearing.
Yeah.
The map's still designed around it really nicely. What do you think about gunplay?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think gunplay felt pretty damn amazing. Like genuinely I'd put it on par, if not a close second to Apex, which is like our favorite shooter probably ever. And yeah, I completely agree. It has its own style, it has its own pacing. It definitely rewards positioning just a bit better and knowing the map a bit more than obviously something like Apex. Apex is a BR. It's silly to compare the two, but obviously you're not nearly as quick in Halo, so it matters about being accurate with your gun or positioning yourself correctly and stuff like that. And obviously, you know, we have to talk about grenades as well, because that is
That's
a
true.
core part of Halo weaponry. I think grenades are actually really well balanced in this one.
Not too bad, right?
Which is shocking to say in a Halo game, because they have been so up and down with grenades. It's kind of ridiculous.
Halo 3's pocket nukes. Ugh.
Yeah. Halo 3 had some ridiculous frags. So yeah, they are really, really good. I feel like the plasma grenades though are very flaccid the way you throw them. I feel like you can't throw plasma grenades nearly as far as any other grenade, like half the distance of spikes and frags.
Yeah, I think
is that just me?
No, I think you're right. They do feel a bit floppier. In actual fact, plasma grenades do feel a bit weak. But having said that, they've always been good at like yeah, you can stick people, but they've always been good at like vehicles more than anything else.
Yeah, I guess so. But then I feel like the speed and, you know, like I was saying, how hard you throw it also comes into play even more when it comes to vehicles. You want it to be faster, and like, I don't know, it just feels like a worse spike grenade in every single way at the moment, the plasma, and I don't really feel like they have a place right now. I feel like they could do it with a bit of a distance buff on how you can throw them.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I think it's like it's one of those things that I'm going to have to play other modes to see how it kind of feels, because like spike grenades, you know, I love a spike grenade. I like They do you see what I mean when I was talking about this a few weeks ago, by the way, when like you throw them but they're like very flat and the way you throw them is really cool. It's like a throwing knife.
yeah.
And obviously they stick, but they're the thing about spike grenades, which hadn't even crossed my mind for some reason. It came up on a loading screen tip, was like spike grenades are really explode with needles and are really effective in confined spaces. And I was like, why hadn't I thought of that? Like, why I was just trying to stick people exclusively, and then after that, I would always like save it, like and like pressure someone into a small space and then chuck it in, and the spikes would ping around and get me kills. So obviously that works a bit different to necessarily like plasma. So like the style of play is a little bit different, and which is why spike grenades wouldn't be good for vehicles. It wouldn't do as much damage because the spikes would fly off the vehicle. But yeah, you get my point. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't disagree. They do feel a little bit on the weak side. Did you try the new grenades? The dynamo grenades they're called.
Dynamo?
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
They were on.
I ever found one?
Oh, really? They're on. They're on Bazaar.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
You just get Alexa just sass you.
Yeah, sometimes she does that in the podcast. She just like turns on. I'm like, please don't say anything. Please don't break my flow. But she did this time. Introducing Alexa to the show. It's on Bazaar, and it's like, you know, in the middle bit where the little buildings are, like directly in the middle, there's like a bit you can go under the buildings or through them, I guess. Mm-hmm. They're in there, and they're kind of crazy. They're really good.
Okay.
They're like shield strippers, so they're like, it's like a little grenade with it's like a little Tesla coil, and you throw them and you get like this like delightful little noise. It's like ding 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 ding, like as it's like shocking people. You very rarely get kills with them. It's just
Okay.
a shield stripper, and like lightning will bounce between. Like if it hits someone, it will hit someone else, sort of thing. If they're out of range.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're cool, man. And
I don't
they
think I've
bounce
ever.
like crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used one or been hit by one in the entire 4 hours we played yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Whenever I saw them, I was like straight on it because they're really good. I like getting people's shields down and like applying pressure. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just learning where all the drops are.
Mm.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's other things like I want to speak about. But great. I mean, so that's like Gunplay. We both think it's amazing. Feels really good. And there's with it like returning to like the old school style of Halo formula. Do you not feel that this is just like a perfect mix? Like it's a perfect middle point between old school Halo and like new Halo.
Yeah.
Sprint is
Yeah.
there, but it's weak. There's no silly compromises like shields not coming back when you sprint. Mantle is there, but maps are designed around it perfectly.
Mhm.
You know, strafing is zoom is there, but it's not an ADS that tightens your bullet spread. It's just for zoom, and it's like I'm okay with all of these things. Like I'm absolutely fine with all of these things as long as it feels good, and it does feel good. So, I mean, it's massive props. You can tell they've been tuning the shit out of that multiplayer for years. You know, you can tell that they have been absolutely scrubbing that clean for a long old time.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Yeah. It just feels great. Yeah. It's the perfect. It's the perfect middle ground between the two, is as you said it. Like there's been moments where like as I'm sprinting and jumping around, I almost like I like go to like jump and like cross like a chasm or something like that, and I almost try and jetpack like I do in Halo 5 or something like that, but then it's not there, and then I get like punished for it and stuff like that. Like because I feel like Halo 5 you relied a lot on the movement and the extra speed and stuff like that, and this one is just yeah, you still have some of those tools, but bad positioning and stuff like that. You don't have anything to get you out of there, so you need to you still need to be quite cautious with how you move around.
Definitely.
And I think I guess like movement, I guess like radar comes into play.
I was going to say,
well,
let's talk about movement and radar and all of that now.
Yeah, so I do have. I think the radar's fine. But I don't know. It's such a touchy subject because if you do increase the range on it, or you do give the extra tools to know, give the little red dots like a downwards arrow or an upwards arrow, so you know if they're above you or below you, all that, then it just becomes a bit of a radar watcher shooter, which a lot of Halos have been in the past, like Halo 3 and Reach and all that. God, you could see people from freaking across the map with your radar, and it just became literally just sitting there watching your radar. But I do struggle to know where people are, whether above me or below me, and then how I play it. And there's been a few times where I've genuinely like heard someone before my radar picks them up, and I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit it's a bit too short, the distance on it. I've literally seen someone pop up on my radar before, and then I just get like a melee in the back of the head. And yeah, I don't know. It's fine, and I would say kind of keep it as it is rather than tweak it, even though I want it tweaked. It's a very dangerous game. And I know that our friend that we were playing with had the same issue with the radar as well. It basically has little to no information, which means that you focus more on what's in front of you and stuff like that, which is great. And what's in front of you is amazing. We've already established that the gunplay and the movement is really, really good. So you use your eyes more than the tools the game gives you, I guess is what they were going for. But I don't know. How do you feel about the radar?
I don't know. Radar is it's. I don't know. I guess I haven't played like a competitive game that has a radar system in it for a long time. Like I just because I do kind of agree. Like it's the only nitpick I would say I have about the whole thing, and I'm not sure if that's because I'm just not accustomed to having that much information, and then being disappointed when I don't have it. Like because like Apex, you rely on sound. Like other games, other games that we've played historically competitively, like Smite or MOBAs. Obviously, you don't have that much information usually, and even like Destiny doesn't have anything either. So it's
It does have a radar, Destiny.
does it?
Yeah, Destiny has a pretty big radar. Yeah, it's the radar that's done in like segments. There's like little pizza slices all around it, and the ends highlight red, so you can get like
That's right.
you can like see you can see like a direction an enemy is in, but you can't see like their actual red dots sort of thing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And you can pick up the direction from fucking miles away in Destiny,
right?
And know where people.
So
are.
It's like a very watered down radar, then for rough ideas. Yeah. So I don't know, because I do agree on one hand, yeah, like it is small, and like, is that like a good thing or a bad thing? Like I don't know, but I do think sometimes there is a feeling of like someone will kill you, and you'll be like, I didn't have an idea they were there, and that's either because I guess they're just outside the radius because the radius is too small, or it's just a symptom of the maps being small. And the thing is, I don't really have a problem with the size of the maps. I think they feel good. There's no dead space. You can traverse the maps very quickly. If you see someone in trouble, you can get to them in 5 seconds. And I think that's how you want it to be. The compromise of that is that I think sometimes you've got to be constantly on guard, or you've just got to be like extra careful with your positioning, knowing that someone could spawn behind you. Like it's learning kind of the spawning patterns a little bit. Because it's, I can't say I've had a time where I've spawned with anyone in front of me. So overall, I think the spawns are pretty good. They feel pretty good, but like I said, maps are small. If someone spawns, they move, 5 foot forward. Suddenly, you're in their radar, and they could get to you very quickly. So I think it's that thing of like, it's maybe growing pains of getting used to a radar shooter, but also maybe it's just a symptom of small maps for like these arena modes, like these social arena modes. I feel I don't know what the solution is, because I mean it doesn't happen often, and it doesn't like it's not a big deal, I don't think, but it does happen every now and then. You just kind of die, and you're like, I didn't even know there was anyone there, and because it's not a footstep shooter, like so even if they are in range, you don't really hear them. Like it's just not what Halo isn't based around that, so it's a bit of a tricky one.
It's tough because, like you said, the maps are small. So, like, if you increase the range of the radar even a little bit, you could find that you're just constantly picking people up, and you're just it's ridiculous. You're just watching your radar at that point. It's too much information.
Yeah,
you're not focusing that much on what's in front of you. And then another solution would be to like boost footstep noise or something like that. But again, with the smaller maps that are there, all you'd be hearing is
colony of ants
stomping in your ear. Yeah, exactly. It'd be like an army marching constantly.
Yeah.
So it's tough to balance, which is why like I have an issue with it, but I don't actually have a solution for it.
Yeah.
It's really weird, and
I think the thing you said before about the height is probably fair. Like, sometimes it doesn't show if someone's above you or beneath you. And again, I don't know if this is because the maps are tight and small, and 343 just want you to use map knowledge to figure out where they are, or like, because I can't help it. Like, there's no way. Like, that's a design decision. That's a choice that they've made, because, like you said, the other part of that is that you know exactly where they are immediately, and that kind of takes away the element of height advantage anyway, because in Halo you spawn with grenades. Like, it's not like other shit, so you can just ping a grenade upstairs and you've cleared it out. So it's not quite the same. So like it gives you that advantage to either go below or higher, knowing that maybe there's an element of surprise that you have.
That's the thing. It just feels like guesswork sometimes. I mean, what's the map that? It's the map that you play the bots on and everything, and it's got like the tower. It's got a tower.
Live fire, I think it's called.
Yeah, and you go up like a set of spiral, flat ramps to get up to the tower. Yeah, there was a moment where I was up in that tower and I just won like a 1v1 yesterday, and I was really low on HP, just killed someone, and then I picked someone up on my radar, and I was like, oh, holy shit, someone's coming up for me. So I was just like, I need to heal. So I like slid off. So he's obviously coming up to me, is what I thought, and I was like, I'm going to slide off so I can heal. And then I just slid off, and he was on the bottom. Like he wasn't coming up to me, and he just punched me in the head. And it's like, and if I stayed up there, I would have been able to heal safely. But it's just like I just had to guess. It was like tossing a coin. I didn't have information. I was like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like I was like, how do I know whether or not he was coming up for me or whether or not he was just down there?
Yeah,
I made the wrong choice, but it was just like pot luck, really, when you think about it.
yeah.
Even when I was trying to think on how I can outplay him or get out, it just came down to luck at the end of the day, like that end result.
I feel you.
So yeah.
Works both ways, though, doesn't it? Like if you're on the or on attack or defense or whatever, like by switching height, suddenly you have an advantage. You know, I think about times where I've like someone's been chasing me and I've like done some mad repulsor bounces to like get above them, and they haven't seen me do that. But like if they had radar information, they'd be shooting me while I was in the air already. You know, but because of that, they're still a bit confused. Where's he gone? How can he be behind me? You know, it gives me like a 1 second like lead before he figures out what's going on. So it does go both ways. But I do feel you because you do have those moments sometimes, very rarely. You know, like just to be clear, where you're not sure if someone's above you, below you, or on the same level as you, and that can be a bit frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, like you do have the whole thing where the radar changed for this flight back to how it was in other Halos. I think we spoke about this in the last time that I had played it. That in the first flighting, it was done so that you would only show up on the radar if you sprint. Normal walking and crouching would keep you off the radar.
I think it's probably better the way it is now. I mean, I didn't play the previous flighting, but I'd like to think it's probably better the way it is now.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because I think it's like I wonder how it would just play without a radar. I'm not calling for them to take the radar out. I'm just like I wonder how this game would play without a radar, and I just feel like I wouldn't miss it. I wouldn't miss it. Like the maps are small enough that I can trust my ears and my eyes enough, and like map knowledge and the use of grenades to clear out areas to like to the point where I don't feel like I really need it. I don't know.
I kind of know what you mean.
Because like there are times obviously where people like kill you and you're like, what? I swear he wasn't on my radar. So either he's sprinted up to me really quickly and I just haven't seen it because I've been doing something else, or like there is the possibility that somebody's just crouched up to me. Whereas if everybody like 80% of the time is off the radar, okay, maybe not 80, like 60% of the time off the radar unless they sprint, then that kind of like removes that altogether. And maybe that's what they were going for. It's like we've made this game so that the you know the visuals are really clean. And so anything really sticks out. So like use your eyes and your ears. And if someone sprints, you can punish them for that. So
don't rely so much on your radar and blame the radar for the reason why you died. Yeah, sort of thing.
So, but either way honestly works. Like I said, I could take it or leave it. Maybe a bit more information here or there would be useful. But maybe it's just the symptoms of sort of sometimes, and that's the thing as well. We've got equipment now that moves you around quite quick sometimes. You know, someone could grapple over to you like before you even blink. You know, if you're aiming down sights, you're not seeing that. So,
yeah, agreed.
So that's the radar. Was there anything else about movement you wanted to touch on? What about like the slide or like jump height or things like that? Does any of that sort of stand out to you at all?
I thought jump height was fine, to be honest. Surprisingly, I didn't actually feel like I had many jump battles in this flighting. Like I felt like most of the combat and most of me either getting killed or doing the killing, like the shooting and the fighting was mainly boots on the ground. There was not, because you know, like Halo 3 and all that, it's just every gunfight is just bee-hopping, right? You're just jumping up and down like a crazy man. I don't know if it's like because this one there's just a lot of roofs above you and like you're in buildings and stuff like that, so that doesn't come into play that much. But yeah, I didn't feel like there were too many like bunny hopping fights. I don't know if that was just me, but I felt like it was quite boots on the ground.
I think I was like that in my first flighting, but for this one, like I've definitely been moving around a lot more, like jumping where I can. But I've been like really struggling to shoot while I'm in the air. Don't know why. And like bag shotting and things like that. Obviously not every time, because like you say, there are times when you're inside and you just hit your shots kind of thing, or hit your nades. But yeah, it's I think there are a lot of people, because they're coming into it and just want to get their accuracy down that aren't jumping either. And as other people do it, you'll kind of have to do it more in response. But I don't think
Yeah.
the jump doesn't feel as like floaty as previous Halos, because yeah, you're right. Like previous Halos, like you might as well have just had like a turbo mod on the A button, because that's literally just what you do.
It's just all you did.
Right. And in this, I think which is what I like, there's opportunities to mix it up. Like you can crouch, you can jump, you can sprint, you can, do this sort of stuff. So
if you do like a slide around a corner using that momentum slide, and you get the first couple of shots off, like they're naturally going to be aiming at a higher level, right? So if you come around that corner sliding and get a couple body shots off, they have to readjust their aim. You probably won that gunfight, right? Because they don't expect you to come round with speed at a lower height than they're expecting. Most people are aiming at head height or chest height at Halo, so it does give you more options on how to approach a fight, and just during as well. Like I've noticed, obviously you can like bag shot in this game where you crouch up and down while you're shooting. So I've assigned that to one of my little paddles, so I do that quite a lot, which is something quite new to Halo. I don't think that's ever really been a thing. So yeah, it's cool, man, and I do enjoy the slide. I think it's pretty cool. It's quite a basic one. It's nothing too crazy, but you can use it on small little ramps, or you can use it to propel yourself that little bit further to jump on top of like a building or something like that. Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but it's just a nice addition. Doesn't break the game, doesn't change it in that many ways, but it's just nice to have.
I think it's like, what's nice about it is that it's like it seems to interact with the environment quite well. So like I'm constantly, like when I'm moving around, and this is what I mean when I say it's just kind of fun to move around, I'm like usually trying out these different things on different parts of on the different geometry of the map. So like I'm like going down slides and like jumping off a slide, or I'm like going into it and then like bouncing off stuff to see how much extra height I can get. Can I mantle onto that? Stuff like this. So this, like, I think I told you, I think I was talking about it the other day, but there's a YouTuber called Shyway who like looks into like, or has been looking into like the tech in Halo Infinite, particularly around the slide. And like there's one thing, and like you get the feeling that is what the game is going to be like, because of just how it feels, and it feels good, and how everything like interacts together. But he's basically been running the tests and stuff on it, and you can like if you're moving forward or like sprinting forward and you jump and like keep slide held down, you get a lot of distance. But if you jump, like land on a downwards ramp, hold slide, you get like the additional speed of coming down into the slide, and then you can jump off that, and you get like a lot of distance, like a lot. Like it would be enough to change a gunfight, or like escape from being chased, things like that.
Escape a gunfight.
Yeah, right. And so I think what is nice is that there's a lot of depth here. I don't fully understand it yet. I'm still playing around with it, but like you can see people playing around with it, and that's nice. Again, coming from Apex, which is a big movement shooter, that sort of stuff like makes my heart melt. So
yeah, for sure.
It's super nice. I'm excited to sort of keep toying with that, really, and see what else comes of it. But yeah, for those that don't know, by the way, because I see a lot of people, I've done it, definitely have done it a few times. You hold B or whatever your crouch button is to slide, but if you keep it held down for longer, you go like you double the distance, and you don't really lose speed. So like keep that in mind, because I've seen a lot of people just do like dinky slides. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So that's movement. I want to talk about maps next. Obviously, 3 maps: Live Fire, Recharge, and Bazaar. A favourite?
So Live Fire is the bot one. Which one of the other ones? Remind me. Oh yeah, you got the deserty one.
That's Bazaar.
With the sand buildings, and then what was the other one again?
Recharge. It's like the one with the pillars that go up and down on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the grav hammer.
I would say my favourite is probably Bazaar. I'd probably say. I feel like it's pretty good. It has good line of sights for long range combat. It has small little dinky rooms to duke it out. In close range combat as well. I feel like the power weapons are quite nicely placed. as well, like in the center of the map in open areas. So you really have to you either have to push with a teammate, or you have to, you know, be quick enough or have decent enough weapons to actually secure something anyway, because you're essentially just running out into the open and you can be shot from so many different angles. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it's just a really quite nicely balanced map. To be honest, I quite enjoy it. Plus, I just think it looks great. I think the whole like all like the lighting on it and the graphics just look really nice. I haven't seen a Halo map like that.
Yeah, there's been
in quite a while.
There's actually been a lot of talk about this on like Twitter and social media about how the game looks, because I think in motion, like it looks nice, but in a non-detailed way. You know, it's just clean. It's just that it's designed to be clean, non-obstructive. You know, and that does look really nice. And you know, I said to you before, like the game just looks so crisp. It is running in like 4K, which like when we play Apex, that's only running in 1440p. It hasn't had a next gen update yet. So it just looks so crisp, right down to every pixel.
It does.
But then, like when you like go close to textures, the textures are really detailed and really nice. You know, you probably haven't noticed. I didn't until people started showing it on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that texture work is actually like amazing. Like it looks just really good. Like chipped paint on the wall, or like the vents and like the shadows and the lighting in that. Yeah. So yeah, they're fairly nice looking maps. And what? So Bizarre. Yeah. Bizarre is the one that you. I think there's quite a lot of like play. Maybe it's just because it's a rocket launcher, but like there's a lot of like map control on Bizarre.
Yes. Yeah. The rocket launcher could be a bit annoying.
It's very powerful.
It might be a bit, maybe a bit too powerful. I mean, rockets have always been ridiculous in Halo, but these are like Moabs.
Yeah,
launching nukes.
It sucked in the last flying. That's why. Tuned it up.
Oh, okay. They just tuned it up like crazy.
Yeah.
So there is some map control in that, but I just feel like there's just a lot of areas to go. Like you just got like a big open center area where you can take the low route, or you can take the high route, or you can jump across, or you could just choose to fire across that big line of sight, or you can go down the left or right routes where there's like underground routes, and then you can jump on like vents to get up to their high ground. Do like a little jumping puzzle. I just feel like there's quite a lot of options. It's a little bit less linear than other maps, but I mean, and it was really good for CTF. I actually thought it was quite a well designed map for CTF. I thought it was good for Slayer, but I thought it really like shined when it with the objective game mode CTF. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I agree.
Which kind of brings me on to the fact that I do think the maps are good, but you could definitely tell like live fire especially for Control Point or whatever it was called was not great. Like it was too small. Like you literally just flipped a point every like 2 seconds. It was too small for that game mode. It worked better for the other one, whatever the other one was called.
Recharge.
I forgot the one. Recharge. Like Control Point worked pretty good for that. I thought it was quite well designed, but I feel like Live Fire was like strictly just like a Slayer map. It didn't really work well for Control Points, to be honest.
Yeah, it was quite manic. But I didn't think it was too bad, because I think that's kind of the point of that game mode. You know, it's just like you're just holding stuff for seconds at a time to try and like get a few points here and there, or like hold down areas. But I know what you mean. It was definitely stuff was getting flipped really frequently.
Yeah,
cool. I mean, I guess that's probably a nice way to bring us onto the game modes, because this was the first flighting with something other than Slayer. And you said at the beginning, you know, it was refreshing to play like objective game modes. Like, was there a favorite? Was CTF your favorite? So when we played that, do you think
CTF? Yeah. I think CTF was my favorite, especially on Bizarre. Like I said, I felt like it just flowed quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't played Capture the Flag in a long time. I mean, Control Point, you know, we've all played Domination, we've all played Conquest and stuff like that for Battlefield and COD. So there's nothing too new there, and I feel like I've played that game mode more recently than something like Capture the Flag as well. but yeah, I mean, they're all good. But yeah, CTF definitely shined through the best for me.
Yeah,
I thought it was good fun.
I agree. And I think like when we, because I wasn't sure what Stronghold is. I think Stronghold is a returning game mode. Is it from Halo? I think it's like not a new game mode. But I don't know. It's when we booted up and I found out it was essentially domination. I was kind of like lame, like boring.
Yeah.
But as we played it, to be fair, because it's COD, like it's not COD because it's Halo. Ooh. Like
Jesus
you
Christ.
just get the feeling that you're going to get into a zone and then 20 nades are going to land in your different sockets and blow you up. And I didn't find it was that bad actually. Like it wasn't that bad, and I found
that's King of the Hill.
Yeah, right. And I found myself like actually enjoying it more than I thought I would. So I think CTF probably was my favorite, but I was expecting to hate Strongholds and I didn't. So that was nice. Yeah, and obviously Slayer is Slayer. It's paced nicely. They're nice and short. Sometimes they feel maybe like a minute too short, but I mean,
yeah, maybe.
I don't mind bite-sized games. I'd rather it be bite-sized than go on for too long. Like especially those
Yeah,
games.
I was about to say because
Yeah, especially the ones that we had that were tight, like they were close. They didn't feel too short.
no, definitely not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's just it's a race to 50, right? If you stomp the team and you're being really efficient on how quickly you kill people, the game's going to go really quick. But if you're 50 to 49, that's essentially 50 kills per side. So the game essentially like doubles in length. Like it becomes a pretty long game. So yeah, it does depend on your opponents how long the game lasts as well. And I think if you were to bump that up to 75, it'd be a bit obnoxious. It'd be it could get quite repetitive, and yeah,
for sure,
you'd want to play a different game mode.
Yeah, definitely. And the objective game modes didn't feel that way. Yeah, it was just Slayer.
No, for sure.
Awesome. Well, on the different maps, there are these things you shoot with, weapons. I wanted to talk about the weapons in particular. You know, we got a handful, you know, and so like because these have been two things that have been fairly controversial over like almost every Halo game, the AR and the pistol is your starting loadout. What did you think of the AR and the pistol?
I thought they were pretty balanced. I thought maybe the pistol was a bit too good sometimes.
Oh, that's interesting.
I feel like you can kill people pretty damn quick if you click on their heads. Pretty much like as quick as like a commando, maybe a little bit slower. But obviously it's hard to do. So like it's a precision weapon. Like I think it's fine as it is. And the AR does melt a bit up close, but then it drops off ridiculously at like a medium to long range. So overall, I think they're actually pretty well balanced, to be honest. I'm quite happy with those as my starting loadout guns. And I always wanted to go around the map and look for a BR or look for a commando to just get that upgrade. Like I was happy with the assault rifle Magnum, but I did want something else, and I think that's exactly what a starting loadout should feel like. So,
yeah, I think the starting loadout feels like perfect, like actually perfect.
Yeah.
Because you know the AR has been a thing which has been up and down. Like some people thought it was a little bit too powerful in 5, but it's been like renowned for being like absolute dog shit tier in like the old Halos. Halo 3, that gun was fucking useless. Yeah. It was useless. It was
so bad.
Like what was the point? And the Magnum was like a bit controversial in 5 for being a bit too powerful. Like people just didn't use it, even though the AR was still quite good. The Magnum was like mental. It was like absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So people just ran around with that and used that, and I didn't like that. That was a bit annoying. Whereas I think the pistol in this is like perfect. The clip is just short enough that you can't like one clip someone unless you properly beam them and they're like just in the right range.
Yeah.
It's there to be a weapon that you can swap to. I think it's called the sidekick. So like it's literally, you know, down to the name. It's there to swap to and finish someone off, which I like. I like, and I love how it feels as well. It's just got this lovely like sort of like sound to it.
yeah, for sure.
So
I agree. Yeah,
that's great. So I mean, what other than that has been your favorite weapon that you've picked up, like off a floor or off a rack or something?
Probably the commando. I did really enjoy the commando. And then obviously, as far as consistency goes, the BR is just great. It's like all reliable, isn't it? Like, yeah, the BR is great, but it's not too exciting. So like the Commando's a little bit different to me. That was pretty fun. And once I found out where the spawn of the Bulldog was on Bazaar as well, that was fire. That gun, that was really, really good. Yeah, that felt really, really good to use. And it was powerful as well. Not sure if it was a bit too powerful. I don't know. But I did enjoy using it. So yeah, I'd probably say Commando and Bulldog were my two favorite sort of off the rack guns.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, no, they're cool ones. It's a good question. I like the Commando when I used it as well. Sometimes it's one of the few guns that actually has like requires recoil control. So like I find it particularly satisfying coming from Apex, where a lot of guns do recoil. It's like the carbine. It feels like I'm using the R301. So like it's that downwards recoil control. So it's really satisfying to use. To be honest, I didn't really care much for the BR when I was using it. Like it was cool when I picked it up. It was obviously nice, but like I think maybe I was just kind of sucking with it. I don't know why.
So good. So good.
Do you know what? I really liked using the what was the purple shotgun called?
Oh god. Yeah, I have no idea.
The purple shotgun. Yeah, the one that's not the Bulldog. I like because I've used that a few times and I was like, this feels fine, but sometimes it's like difficult to use. It's like difficult to like get into the right position to like pull something off with it because you don't. But yesterday, I whipped on that vertical firing mode, and
it's good.
I was battering kids, and there were a couple of times where I just like as I was getting more and more comfortable with using it, I would like use both. Like I would use vertical to get like two or one big shot to crack them, and then just tap LT quickly to the horizontal mode and just get the final shot off, which just felt really good. So I was having a great time with that yesterday. And I mean, I can't lie, I was having a good time with the rocket launcher. I know it's probably a bit overtuned, but it was fun.
The spike thing was cool.
The spike. Yes, is it called the spiker? Or the spiker, right?
Yeah, actually, and that shotgun, I just looked it up. It's called the Heat
Wave. That's it, Heat Wave.
Heat Wave.
Yeah, and I like that. And I like the possibility because the bullets bounce. I like that there's like another layer of depth in like trying to obviously using it in small places, but also the fact that you can ping it around corners and try and like clip people. That makes me quite happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably those two.
Yeah, I actually killed someone with the Heat Wave. I was just using it as like a normal shotgun, but I killed someone, and then the guy was like bank shot, and I was like, what?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Star points, I guess.
Yeah. There are loads of really cool like medals for that. I've noticed that like somehow coded to like around like equipment use or like use of particular like they've like taken it to another level. Like I know there's a medal for like 360s, and there's like a medal for killing someone mid grapple.
Yeah.
It's called whiplash.
Yeah.
And the things like that where it's just like, you know, you pull something cool off and you don't just have you're not the only one screaming down the mic. You know, the announcer's also screaming at you. Like, nice fucking work, bro.
Yeah. There was one that I noticed with the drop shield where if you block grenades or rockets with it, it gives you like a boom block medal.
That's right.
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I felt really cool when I threw it down and baited out his rocket. And then even the game was like, you did do something cool. And I was like, I did.
Yeah, thanks,
nice.
Man. Yeah, I love it. Oh, actually, do you know what? The grav ham. I just love how the grav ham feels in this game. I know it's like, I think
it's got a wind up on it.
I think most people quite like it, but there are some like purists who don't like that it's like, it's not full of physics effects. Like you notice when you kill people, they don't go like flying. And then it has a wind up. I think some people don't like that, but for the most part, I think it's really popular. I like because old grav hammer was just an energy sword with physics. Like change my mind. It was the same thing. It was like instant cast with a lunge, whereas now grav hammer is like. I mean, I'm assuming energy sword is in this game. it's different. There's no lunge. It's just a wind up with a big AoE, which like it's how it should be. To be honest, I always found it frustrating to use in other games. I can never really do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I like it in this one. Big AoE.
Yeah, they definitely could. They could benefit from some ragdoll physics on the body though, like for sure. Like with like a good grenade or like a grab hammer slam, or if you launch someone with a spiker. We were talking about this. It'd be kind of cool if their bodies did get flung and stuff like that. I feel like I feel like it would go a long way to just making that moment feel even more badass.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, I don't know.
It's weird because
obviously it's not something they're going to do.
Because those physics are definitely in the game where like bodies sometimes do go fly. If you kill someone mid grapple, their body like launches into space. You never see them again. Stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you rocket launch them, like their bodies will like go flying, like things like that. So for some reason, it just doesn't seem to be there for the spiker, which is like just the one thing I want. Like I can take or leave the grab ham stuff. So I just want to impale people, please.
Yeah.
So yeah. For sure. I'm trying to think if there was something else. So I did want to touch on the fact that in like previous games, like grenades and I can't remember weapons, but like you just find them on the floor. Yeah, I think like weapons, like not power weapons, but like upgrades, you know, like your BRs and your stuff like that. You find them just on the floor. In this game, they've all got racks. Even the grenades have racks. And they've said, so on one hand, I think this goes a long way to like helping that like visual clutter. Like it's right there, it's obvious. There's nothing like, you know, you're not tripping over yourself. Did I pick them up? You know you picked them up. The second thing was you said to me yesterday, like, oh, I wish there was like a cool like a timer so I know when things are coming up. I don't know if you noticed after I said that, but like this really
yeah, I did.
This really clean feedback on the weapon rack. If it's red, someone has it. If it's blue, there'll be a cooldown on it and it will let you know when it's coming up. So you have that idea. Really nice bit of design, I think.
I feel like it could be more obvious though. I feel like it. I mean, you had to explain it to me, and I'm sure you had to stop and figure that out and like put the pieces together as well. I feel like it could be clearer, but I do think it's good. Like,
sure.
Now I figured it out, it works good, but yeah, I feel like it could be clearer and explains to the player a bit better. But
I think it's just much nicer than having numbers or like a UI element like hovering above it, you know.
Yeah.
And compared to other Halo games where like you have no information whatsoever, it's like a massive step up. But I'm with you. Yeah, it's you might not notice it. I guess is the problem. You might not know. It's probably like a tooltip on the loading screen, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, and the third part of what I was saying about this is that they said in the Inside Infinite earlier this week that the reason that they've used all these pads is not just for the reasons I just mentioned, but also that as the game goes on, they can easily inject new weapons, new equipment, power weapons into that. So it's literally just a case of adding it to the pool, which I think is like marvelous, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's weapons. I think you said like everything felt pretty balanced. Like there was maybe a tiny bit of undertune here, tiny bit of overtune there. Nothing game breaking, nothing big. And especially like I like that. And I always say this about like BRs, and I think the principle is kind of similar. That if a wall weapon or a power weapon feels a little bit overtuned, like that's fine because you're literally contesting them. You know.
Yeah. I
it's
agree.
meant to feel powerful. You know. So that doesn't bother me that much. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Could not agree more.
My favourite segment. Equipment. Wow.
Well, hey.
Wow. Equipment. This, I mean, obviously I spoke about this. Maybe like, I kind of want to hear what you have to say about like the use of equipment in general and like what your vibes are on that.
I love it. I really do. I feel like it flows into the game very nicely. I don't feel like it's obnoxious in any way. It gives your character a nice little buff in many different ways without it feeling as crazy as picking up a rocket launcher or something like that. It's nowhere near as powerful as that, and it's like you have to be smart with it, otherwise you're just going to waste it. So like it comes down to a matter of player skill as well. Whereas any fucking idiot can use a rocket launcher, right? But like, yeah, it comes down to player skill and like the knowledge of the map and how you can use that equipment to exploit the map. So yeah, I thought they went really well. Obviously, my favorite was probably the repulsor or the I don't know. They're also good. Like, I really like the drop shield and the grapple are both like sort of on par for me as well. And yeah, because there's just so many cool things you can do with it. You know, for people who don't know, Deck explained this to me when I started as well. You can use the repulsor if you like look at the ground, jump, and then hit with the repulsor. You can like boost yourself up like an old school like grav hammer slam sort of thing, like a grav hammer jump. And you can launch yourself like double the height of a regular jump. And yeah, I use that so many times to just like hop over a wall and kill someone from behind. I saw you do it a few times as well. And it's little things like that which you don't know at first, and then it just clicks for you, and you're like, oh, well, there you go. There's another use for that tool. You know, like when I have that, I now have 5 things I can do with that are constantly rattling through my brain, and it just, I tell you, it gets you exploring. I remember you saying like you were just when we were loading into the game, you were literally just like, I wonder. It was just like silence for like 2 minutes, and then you were just like, I wonder if you can like grapple grenades in the air or something like that. And then you like messaged me at like 1 a.m, just like, you can, and you sent me like a clip of someone doing it. And it just,
man,
it gets you thinking about all these things in the game and how the equipment interact, and you can tell, like you said, of just how much they've polished this multiplayer, that they really have just. There are so many interactions with everything you do in that game to every piece of equipment. And I mean, obviously, yeah, you can. I've literally just basically just jacked it off. Like, I love equipment. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really like the slips. You know, for those that don't know, the 343 has been like not just making Halo Infinite, they made a new engine for it. All the previous Halos ran on the same engine, which was the Blam engine. So it's like another layer of impressiveness that it feels as good as it does and still feels like Halo, because they themselves made a new engine for it called the Slipspace engine. And I think equipment is the thing, like, firstly, which to me anyway is making the game go from wow, this is really, really good, to this might be something special. Secondly, it's where Slipspace engine is really like, it's obvious that they've made this with Halo in mind. All the, like you said, there's so many interactions, like all the physics and how this all works was molded into like the engine. It's bonkers. And like when I first, we haven't seen much about the repulsor until we got to play with it in this flight, and like it's one of those equipment pieces that, like, don't tell me your mind doesn't explode at the possibilities of what you could do with this thing. Because I remember people saying the same thing about the grapple. Like when we first saw that, and obviously you can play around with that, feels great. It interacts with just like a ludicrous amount of shit. You can grapple Spartans, walls, floors, vehicles, weapons. Like, it's nuts. Earlier I grappled a grav hammer over to me and then battered someone's head in with it. It's the best thing ever. Yeah. You can grapple flags, objectives. Like, it's nuts. And like,
can't grapple teammates.
Though. Can't grapple teammates. I did try.
You did.
But I guess it was just like, it would open the door to too much trolling, wouldn't it? But yeah, I would quite like to. Yeah. I would love to like repulse you over the back of the map. Do you know what I mean? Like for a gank. Yeah. And like your mind just explodes with like the possibilities. And you're totally right. Like the big thing, it makes me wonder how much equipment they've left on the cutting room floor. But for the most part, it like really it adds another aspect to the gameplay that isn't just shooting and positioning. It's like non-traditional shooter thinking, right? It's like, I need to be creative with this. I need to use this at the right time. It's beyond just like an ult, like in a game like Apex, for example, or any MOBA, whatever. Because it's like, because of the way it works with the rest of the game, those, that window of opportunity to use it could come and go in like a split second. So just things that, I think the equipment is really, really special, and there's What would we have? Repulsor. What am I missing?
Drop,
Drop pull,
drop
grapple,
shield,
and then obviously
and grapple.
active camo and overshield. Overshield is overshield. Nothing immensely exciting. We know what it does. Active camo, honestly, not really doing much for me. I feel like people are seeing me.
It never really has in Halo for me. Even back in Halo 3, or when you picked up the little blue like storm ball, it just looked like a ball of tempest storms. Yeah, I don't. It's just awkward. I don't really think it. It just doesn't. It's such a cowardly ability.
Yeah,
it just forces you to just sit still and or like crouch up to people and stuff like that. I mean, I have found some use for it. It is good.
I just find that the only way to make use of it is to like crouch around. Otherwise, because I said to you yesterday, I thought that in previous games, if you had it, like you're still obviously still a bit visible if you're walking, but I thought it took you off the radar, and I feel like it should do that because like, otherwise, like it doesn't.
I thought
it doesn't
did
feel
as well.
powerful.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel powerful. Like it's the only,
No.
and it's not terrible because there are times where you can like crouch and you're guaranteed the first shot, and that can secure you a kill. But it's just like you're right. It's overshield worked well into all the other ones. I think it makes sense. You can be the front line. You can use it reactively because now you don't use it as soon as you walk into it. You get to pick it up and use it on demand. Love that. But active camo is like it just doesn't. Like, it's fine, but it needs.
Wasn't there one that gave you like extra damage, overpower or something? Was it called?
I think there was one in one of the games. Yeah,
I could have sworn. Yeah, I could have sworn there was one that gave you that. That'd be kind of cool. Like just getting like 10 seconds or 15 seconds of just extra power, right?
Yeah.
So like your BR you can kill someone in 2 bursts or something like that. But you know, you're highlighted red, so it gives that whole element of I need to run away from this man. Or you just get beamed, and it only lasts like 10-15 seconds, so you're going to get 2 kills with it or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Or something that just makes your melee is like 1 hit, something like that. You just get like super buff fucking arms, and it just encourages you to just sprint in there and just start smashing people's heads in.
Yeah. I definitely like the change of like that you have it and you can use it on demand because that. Like there have been times where I've like had overshield and then I found like a grapple and that's just allowed me to like keep using that and like double up on that interaction. So that all works well for me. But there are, from what we know, there is more equipment that we haven't obviously played with. One of them was in the last flight, which was threat scanner, which was it's like a little wrist pulse. That's what you think it does. It sticks to the first thing it hits and then lets out like. A pulse gives you wall hacks for like 3-4 seconds, and you get 2 of them, I think. So the way that works into everything could be quite cool. I think it's one of those things that might be quite helpful with like what we're saying about the radar. Should I take that call or should I not? Oh, let's threat scan it, and that kind of removes the problem. But also, I think I'm excited to see how that works into the rest. Again, like the rest of the equipment, like does a drop pull stop it? Presumably, can you repulsor it back and then will it scan for you? You know, things like that. And supposedly on there's this tooltip and it's in the settings. It mentions thrusters. So, like Halo 5 thrusters, there seems to be an equipment that we haven't seen yet, which gives you thrusters. Don't know how it'll work. Don't know what it means, but it's there.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah. I imagine it would just be a beefed up version of the Halo 5 one where you can do like quite, exaggerated like thrusts in either direction or maybe upwards. Don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool power abilities to fight over. Yeah, I'd like that.
So that's what we
anti-grav boots. I want to walk up buildings.
Yeah.
Give me anti-grav boots.
Yeah.
That'd be cool as fuck.
Can really be Spider-Man. Yeah.
That would be so cool.
So that's what we know about so far, and I think that all sounds great. I think honestly the stars of the show are probably the ones that are in the flighting at the moment, being the grapple, the repulsor, and the drop pull. But as I said, like I think it's banging that next season they could just add another piece of equipment. I just think that's so cool. You know, but
Yeah,
like I'm saying, but
it's very exciting.
equipment is the coolest part, and like usually with these games, you see, to me anyway, usually with these games, you see additional weapons, you see weapon changes and things like that. Be like equipment, like utility and like creativeness. That's like just going to be nested. It's just going to be more variables, you know. So that's I like the idea of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely the coolest part.
Excellent. Right, last part then. Almost done. I'm wearing you out with this Halo talk. Rubbing you down to the bone.
I'm exhausted.
Is I just wanted to talk about progression or customization. I don't know how much fiddling around you did with it, but if you haven't done much fiddling, then we can just gloss over it because I've already spoken about this.
Yeah, I didn't do much fiddling with it. To be honest, I kind of just went into a game, came out a game, went into a game. I wasn't customizing my Spartan because it was triggering you, and I just wanted to just keep that going.
Of course.
And yeah, I don't really know too much about how it works, to be honest. I mean, we know it's challenge based and stuff like that. So I have no issue with that. We spoke about it in the past. Like I could see I was getting unlocks and stuff like that, I think. But I just wasn't really going into it too much, which mainly was because of a bug. I'm going to be honest. Every time I pressed a button on any of the menus in this flight, to like go into my armory, to check out my guns, to change my colors, every time I clicked a button of any kind, it came up with the little slide dash, and you know where it asks you your profile and who you want to sign in as, and I kept having to pick myself every time. So it was really triggering me. So I ended up just literally just playing a game, finishing it, and I just put my controller down in the lobby until the next one hit.
It's a weird bug.
It was a really, really annoying bug. I probably would have explored the menus a lot more if I didn't have that bug.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you said what I was kind of fishing for a little bit was like you said, you could see at the end of the game that you were getting unlocks, like, you know, with the whole complaint about per match XP. It's like, well, at the end of every match, we were making progress to a challenge or getting XP from a challenge. So like, it essentially felt like that. And then I was pissing around with some of the, like, I re-rolled some of the weekly challenges because I couldn't do them because of like they seemed to be for modes that we didn't have yet or whatever. And then I started working towards them as well. Yeah, I just think it all feels fun. We'll have to fiddle around with it a bit more, like today and next week for the flighting and see where we stand. But yeah, it all seems fine. We've spoken about it in theory. It seems fine in theory, and like having actually fiddle around with it myself, it seems fine in practice as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they broke more of it down on the Inside Infinite, but it's like an example of challenges that there could be, and some of them are like, you know, kill someone driving a ghost and things like that, which are like, these are weekly ones and it's like, do it once. Like a lot of people have said they feel too easy, and it's like, oh, it's just too fucking easy now. It's not too hard. So it's like,
never happy.
Yeah, it's just never happy. So yeah, we'll have to come back to this conversation. But great, all seems well. That's Halo.
Yeah.
Only took an hour and 17 minutes.
Oh my God. Yeah, we did it. And I feel like I could talk a lot more.
I know, man. Well. I know.
I had so much fun, man. Like it was really good. We had so many just like fucking funny moments, mate. I was having just little flashbacks when I was like 16 and just playing Halo again.
Yeah.
It was just great fun, man. I haven't had a shooter, an arena shooter definitely just capture my attention for that long, to the point I look at my watch and I'm like, is that the time?
Yeah,
the fighting's almost over. Yeah. Queue again.
Quick. Yeah, for sure.
It was good.
I'm itching to play again tonight. Like, you know, it's a good sign. It's really, really good. And I think it's, at the very least, we know that everything is going to feel good in campaign. You know, don't know about the rest of it, but like, at least there's that, you know, so that's good.
Yeah.
I think it would be weird if we didn't. I haven't got it on the note, but I just remembered, you know, I think it would be weird if we maybe didn't speak about one of Halo's direct competitors, Call of Duty Vanguard. I haven't played it, but I've heard quite a few things that may be rude.
It's trash. Yeah, I literally have heard it's not looking good.
It's what the two things I've heard are that it is firstly very buggy, very buggy, which is like, it's a beta, fine, but it's like almost unplayably buggy, which leaves a bit of a sour taste in people's mouths. And secondly, that it just feels like a World War II reskin of Modern Warfare, which
I heard it's just really, people just think it's very boring. Like the consensus is it's boring, it's drab, it's not exciting. There's just not much buzz about it from what I hear. Sure, it looks great, and gunplay always feels fine in Call of Duty. TTK is always Red Bull, like it's too quick. You have to be fucking jacked up on Red Bull and Monster. But I don't know. Yeah, it's just boring. I really don't feel like there's anything exciting about this year's card.
And I mean, and that begs the question of like, you've got. It's been a while where we've had a Halo, a Battlefield, and a COD all releasing in the same holiday Christmas period, and now you've got a COD coming out looking a bit underbaked, and eyebrows are being raised. Is this the year that COD doesn't break records for sales? Are people going to be looking at the free Halo Infinite multiplayer over there, looking at all the positive press and hopping into that?
I mean, COD's multi-platform, but all the PlayStation.
That's true. It's on PC though.
I don't think. Yeah, it's on PC, sure, but like, there's a lot of people on PlayStation that are going to buy Call of Duty.
Well,
or have in the past, and obviously we don't get any of those purchases.
Well, I mean,
Halo, because it's just Xbox.
Halo is going to push console sales. I wouldn't have been able to say that with confidence, but since playing Last Flight and this flight, Halo is going to push console sales, even if the campaign is trash. Because
I agree.
That's just how good it is, and obviously there's Battlefield as well. Like Battlefield is going to pull sales away from COD too. So
I think Battlefield actually might outsell Call of Duty this year.
Interesting.
It's got quite a lot of advertising behind it, quite a lot of buzz about it, and Call of Duty is just not looking good. And anyone including PlayStation and users and all that sort of thing, if they're not liking the look of Call of Duty, the next best thing for a casual player who wants a shooter, an army shooter, is Battlefield.
Yeah.
Like, it's always in the back of people's head. Battlefield and Call of Duty, Battlefield or Call of Duty. Like, I do think Halo is also going to crush it, but we're talking across all platforms here. I think, and I'm going to put my reputation on the line here, and I'm going to say Battlefield's actually going to outsell Call of Duty this year.
Wow,
I think
that's quite the crazy prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
although campaign. I
don't think Battlefield will outsell COD. I just don't think that it's too. Even if COD doesn't review well, it's like comfort food for a lot of people. What I do think is that as the year goes by, monthly active users for Halo and Battlefield combined will overtake COD. I think. If we're, and then there's like the direct competition from Battlefield to Halo, because I mean, Battlefield just obviously got a 5-week delay, so it's now a little bit closer to Halo than it was before. It's like a month before it now. And I have to think how are those things going to sell on Xbox and PC as well, or what's the play going to be like? And again, Halo is looking really solid, assuming it launches with enough modes, enough progression, enough maps. It's going to make people really happy, and it's free. I know there's a lot of goodwill behind Battlefield at the moment, but there wasn't initially. When it was first announced, a lot of people were kind of on their back foot about Battlefield being a full price game for just multiplayer. But I think if Halo's campaign reviews well, we could be looking at a really highly reviewed Halo here. And I know Battlefield comes out a month before, and I think that's strategic because they know that Halo's getting a lot of traction now. It maybe wasn't 6 months ago, but now it's getting a lot of traffic. And so they're like, we need to get ourselves in before, because I think Halo's going to be bigger than we're all expecting it to be. It's always going to be big because it's Halo. But with some of like the the vocal sentiment online 6 months ago, you would have thought, oh, maybe not. But if they nail the campaign as well, I think Halo's going to be the biggest shooter of the holiday and next year in terms of monthly active users.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. It's still, although like Halo is just, it's great and it's obviously going to be a banger. It is just so different from Call of Duty. It's so different, and like as you said, that Call of Duty is just comfort for a lot of people. I still think that comfort, Battlefield is a lot closer to that comfort than Halo is. So I feel like PC users that aren't enjoying Call of Duty this year are still more likely to go to Battlefield before Halo, in the sense that it's closer to that comfort zone.
So like I would like kind of agree with you. It's definitely closer to COD on the spectrum, isn't it, than Halo is. However,
yeah,
full price game.
It is a full price game. Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that sort of person is going to be like, okay, not feeling COD this year, regret this. Halo's free, let's give that a go, and if I'm not liking that, I'll buy Battlefield. They boot up Halo. Oh, hello. Quite like that grappling hook. Quite like that repulsor. So I think there's a real...
Or they're just like getting pissed off with people bunny hopping around, and they're just like, it takes like 4 mags to kill someone.
Everyone's sponging.
And they just buy, and then they just buy Battlefield. So it
That's
can really go either way. I think you're giving these people a bit too much credit.
I don't know. I don't see. I don't.
We're talking about the common gamer.
I don't feel like the common gamer is spending 70 quid on COD and then and then a month or two later spending another 70 quid on Battlefield. I just don't feel like that's happening. I feel like they get one or the other, and if they're getting COD, they're going to something free. Of course, there will be some.
Yeah,
but, I'm talking.
But like, the beta would have just turned people off to the point. A lot of these people just
might not buying it.
Stop. They'll just go to Battlefield or something like that, which again takes away from your theory that they won't want to buy another full price game after COD, because they just won't buy COD in the first place. So they're essentially just buying one military shooter, aren't they? Still, like they do yearly. This year it's just Battlefield. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I would be quite interesting. I'd be quite interested to actually look at the stats behind it this year. Normally I don't care.
Yeah.
But like with these 3 big boys and Call of Duty, like just looking kind of garbage. Let's be honest. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah,
definitely. I'm interested to see what happens. And like I said again, like I think this is if they manage to pull the campaign off, and it's good. I don't think it has to be blow your brains out incredible. I just think it has to be good to great. I think Halo's looking at being the dominant shooter this holiday, considering the campaigns on Game Pass.
Yeah, I could agree.
People are maybe looking for that COD campaign. A lot of people do like playing the COD campaigns. They're short and they're sweet. They look over the aisle. Maybe Battlefield. Oh, but Battlefield doesn't have a campaign this year. Halo multiplayer is free. Campaigns on Games Pass.
And let's not forget that Halo also has the lovely. It's not all competitive. You have your lovely little Forge and custom games and mucking around with your friends. There's more options.
Not Forge.
There's more options with Halo.
Not Forge. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
But we're talking about an overall package. When you're talking about when campaign comes out. So I'm assuming at this point we also have Forge and custom games.
There was.
So that's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not a launch, no.
To be fair, I meant to mention this earlier, so I'll just very quickly go over it. But like, I think I said to you, there have been people who've managed to glitch into custom games, and not only have we seen like more weapons, which haven't like been revealed yet, which fucking awesome. And there's loads of custom game options, by the way. Like from what I've seen and what I've read, like people have been very impressed by the amount of options there. And Halo's always been quite good at that, with like giving you that flexibility. That confirms custom games are in for launch, and that's like half of the fun of like Forge, at least for 6 months until it ties me over. Do you know what I mean? And I think as we get closer to launch and Halo starts advertising these features on like all these maps, or like on these big team battle maps, these handcrafted ones, there's going to be a lot of fun that can be had with it. And I think that that's going to be something they use to push against Battlefield Portal, right? The thing that they're like custom games thing essentially.
Actually, yeah.
And they're going to market that and be like, well, 6 months time, you're also going to have Forge, which is going to be like nuts. So, and so there's going to be file share and stuff for these custom games. But from the looks of it, we don't, it's not officially confirmed, so we don't fully know, but by the looks of it, it's already there. So you're looking at the package being, single player, no co-op. Okay, a bit of a bummer, but single player, full multiplayer package, custom games as well, all there at launch. And that's mostly free and on Games Pass. So yeah, it was worth mentioning, but yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. As a package, it's definitely has potential to be the most competitive shooter this year.
Without a doubt.
For sure.
Without a doubt. Wonderful. Okay. So
that's Halo.
That's it. Well, not quite. We've spoken about the possibility of Battle Royale in Halo.
Oh no.
Yeah, Brian Gerard, community manager, has been just today. So this is breaking. Replying to people talking about Battle Royale on Twitter, and some people have thought, oh, this is an indication that he's like teasing it either for launch or further down the line. Excuse you.
Motorbike just went down my house. No, down my house. No, down my road. Sorry.
Jeez,
that's my bad.
Yeah. So, I don't really want to go. We've covered the whole Battle Royale topic. Like, we don't need to go over it again. But like, supposedly, like, they still have stuff to show. Like, supposedly another mode, and I don't know how I feel about the idea of a Battle Royale, just because I like the core gameplay that I've played so far so much, and I don't know if BR would complement that. I mean, maybe, because it is a game about like scavenging and defending weapons and having power weapons, but I don't know. I'm not against it, but I the tweets weren't clear if he was just like joining in on the fun.
Trolling.
Yeah, because like you can bet at the very least there's going to be enough tools to make a Forge Battle Royale, so was worth bringing up. Have you had any change of heart about BR in Halo?
No, not really. I mean, I think when we last talked about this, I was always saying that sure, BR in Halo, I would accept it with open arms, but it doesn't need it, and I don't want it, and I'd rather them fine tune other things first.
I'd rather have Invasion.
I was took the words
Sorry,
out of my
man.
fucking mouth. Yeah, I'd rather have just some of these cool game modes come back, like Invasion, that do require quite a bit of work because they're so different to a regular playlist. I'd rather those come back. Hell, I'd rather even Firefight, is it called? I'd even quite like Firefight to come back over that, because we know that's a system that kind of works in
Well,
Halo,
the PvE,
if you fine tune it. Yeah, the PvE, PvP one.
Oh, you said Warzone. The current Warzone.
Warzone. Yeah, not Firefight. Warzone. Firefight was cool too, but Warzone. Even something like that come back instead. Like, I'd actually probably prefer those over a BR, personally. But wouldn't say no to a BR. My heart hasn't changed. Clearly you can see it fitting, like you said, with the overall play style of Halo and ODSTs dropping into the map and stuff like that. Genuinely you can see it working, but I don't know, doesn't need it.
Yeah, definitely. That's fine. Just wanted to go over it. So we're finally done. We're cleaning our hands with Halo for the episode. If you're just here for Halo, you can fuck off now. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Yeah.
The Xbox shitstorm. So, don't know if you saw about this week. The Initiative, that lovely studio that Xbox has been building from the ground up. Small team, early in development, got announced to be working on Perfect Dark last year at the Video Game Awards. Pretty big deal. That's a much loved IP. The first Perfect Dark is in the top 10 highest rated games of all time. It's got high pedigree. There was a sequel that came out that was like reviewed in the low 80s. A lot of people consider it a bit meh. Still reviewed well in the low 80s. pretty big deal. They've said that Perfect Dark is going to be a sort of a first-person spy thriller, and they want to take a lot of influence from like the footage that like parkour runners get when they wear body cams. Like they're taking a lot of inspiration from like that style of gameplay, and like John Wick has been a term that's been thrown around quite a few times, not by them but by like insiders, quote unquote. So these guys announced that they're teaming up with Crystal Dynamics this week to deliver Perfect Dark. Not going to say anything more. First reactions to that announcement.
Great. Like I have anything wrong with Crystal Dynamics. They've made some great games. I don't know if they've made any games in the style that these guys are talking about, like how they want Perfect Dark to feel. Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, they did like Tomb Raider and stuff like that, didn't they? And then they also did. Was it Crystal Dynamics that did the most recent Avengers game as well?
Square Enix.
I feel like Crystal Dynamics was in there.
I think you might be right
for that.
I think it might be Crystal Dynamics. Yeah.
I feel like I heard that get thrown around quite a lot with the most recent Avengers game.
I think
right.
I think you're right.
Am I insane?
No, you're not insane. I'm just googling it, but my laptop's really struggling.
Yeah. That's fine.
Oh yeah, publisher Square Enix, but developed by Crystal Dynamics. So yeah.
Crystal Dynamics. So yeah, they've made some games, but not in the style that these guys look like they want to go for. But I don't know, they seem like a pretty good studio, right? I don't mind them teaming up to work on a project together.
Yeah, right. So I mean, obviously,
but then they're joining with a bigger. I don't know. Yeah.
So what I was going to say is like the obvious overlap there is like rebooting an old IP with Tomb Raider. That's the obvious overlap. But like you say, you're right. It's not the same style of first-person shooter game, first-person sort of thing. What this has done, because this is what we call outsourcing, right? You get a small team or even a big team that develop and design the game and like make the framework, make the bones, and then you outsource people for cheaper labor to put the meat on the bones and do that work, essentially. So that is normal. What this has done is created like an absolute whirlwind, because for some reason, anytime Xbox announces anything, there's like this like concern that something is wrong. Like, oh, the initiative must be in trouble. Games in development, hold on. The game's going to be dead on arrival. And it's like, I guess it's peculiar because the initiative announced it themselves and because it's from a like well-known developer rather than like, because there are teams that do this sort of like Asobo are known to do this, Sumo are known to do contracting work, but they're not like a team as big as or like maybe well known as Crystal Dynamics. So, and then obviously like people say stupid shit like, oh well, they made Avengers, but it's like the initiative are on record saying they want to remain a small team to like spearhead the development. Crystal Dynamics aren't having any creative control here. They're just here to help. They're just there to help, and maybe like the fact that they have experience rebooting old IPs and bringing like some of that forward is maybe going to be like some helpful experience. We don't have any more details of how many people are going to be helping. This could be 20 people, this could be 100 people, who knows? But it generated way more concern than I had any right to, considering this is like a normal thing that like every AAA studio does. Yeah,
no, I don't see anything wrong here. Yeah, there's no reason to panic or to think that something's wrong. It's just a case of they just need maybe people to do a little bit of the grunt work, and just help out with the workload a bit. Just because the initiative are a small team, and they've created this idea and they have like you said the entire framework. It's just a case of the manpower to actually get that finished by a release date that they have planned or something. Like, there's nothing wrong here. I don't think there's
nothing
any cause to panic at all.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, this game is like quite far off.
Yeah.
So, like, how anybody could think that this is an indication of development hell is absolutely beyond me. It's just one of the things that is just our weekly like concern from the pundits of the internet. So that was nice. Earlier in the week, we had Starfield leaks. Maybe I wonder how many times this guy has to speak about Starfield leaks before I get another trailer. You know. Leaks that may be real, may not be. It's on 4chan. Zero reputability, you know.
But it's cool to think about.
I will cling on to it for dear life. So, just to skim over some of the few points, some people have like called like the like direction of Starfield NASA punk, which I really like. So, like, you know, instead of cyberpunk, steampunk, whatever, you know, it's like early space, like interstellar travel, that sort of era, and they call it NASA punk, which I just think is, I don't know, just brings a smile to my face.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dude said there's going to be multiple dozens of planets, moons, asteroids, and other stations to visit. Each planet, and this kind of makes me feel like this isn't real. Each planet is bigger than Skyrim's map. I don't know.
It's a bit insane.
Yeah, they said that there's some procedural tech used between locations, so to speed up development, it's not procedural gameplay. You know, like it's been some of it's been generated. There's settlement building again, which I think is something we've spoken about before in previous leaks. You know, which I can take or leave, but you know, whatever. There's flyable spaceships, which was, you know, I mean, it's got to be at this point. That's pretty much guaranteed. There's varying gravity on each planet. Wildlife varies, so they're bulkier on moons with higher gravities and sleeker on planets with lower gravities. It's very science-based, so that all of it makes sense. But some wacky stuff is still to be expected. Gravity is like a mechanic. So, like, you go into stations and you can turn it like on and off, and stuff shit will just float around. And like, what is perhaps the more interesting, rather than just like a scatter shot of just like random shit, is like the lore or like the story direction, like what is Starfield kind of thing. And the idea is basically, which the trailer like hints to, is like finding out, like, are we alone in the galaxy, and just like figuring that out. So it's like that. It's like that early part of interstellar travel, you know, and will there or won't there be intelligent life is kind of part of that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go over this exhaustively because I'm sure you can find it if you want to, but it's about following clues around interstellar life. There is a cult. There's loads of different factions, you know, Skyrim style. We reported on one of these before in a previous leak. One called the Black Fleet, one called the Constellation. I think it was indicated that there was one in the trailer called the Constellation. The Crimson Fleet. There's a cult faction who believes that Jesus or God came from the stars and are looking for his real birthplace. This shit is wild, and I want more.
It's kind of cool, yeah.
Earth is a shithole. You can't land there, but you can go to all other places in the system.
Some of these comments, my God. Reading some of the comments. Not buying it, Todd. And the other one, I can't repeat.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, man. So that's that. I can't not go over it. It's a compulsion at this point. Like I have to bring it up. If I see it.
Yeah.
It's in line with stuff we've heard before, so there's a good chance it could be real. But because it's in line with stuff we've heard before, it could literally just be fake and built off the back of it. So
exactly. Yeah, people can just follow a tangent and just keep going with it.
Yeah.
But like it's yeah, it all seems quite reasonable. It all feels like it would fit into the game. Apart, the only kind of sussy one was the Skyrim map on each planet, but don't know if the tech's there yet, boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all sounds reasonable, and like we've seen these sort of things in previous titles that they've done. So there's no reason why they won't repeat it in a different theme, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, most of it sounds great. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds lovely. But I mean, we keep seeing bits and bobs. So like every now and then, like a new screenshot will like leak it from out of nowhere. And I don't know if these are like controlled leaks. If like Todd is just like posting these out to random addresses like across the world.
Oops.
Yeah.
Hit send again.
Just to see how people react. But it's all looking lovely. I'm loving the visual upgrade of all of it. I just am quivering to hear more about this. And that will keep happening until I do see more of it.
Yeah, does look pretty cool. It's a very exciting title, to say the least.
Yeah, without a doubt. Tim, holy shit. I'm out of breath. Are you out of breath?
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm kind of done with you.
Until 6 o'clock, and then we go for round 2 of Halo.
Oh, God, this is what I have to deal with off podcast.
Yes!
This guy. Jesus.
Well, Tim, do you have any closing words for this week's episode? This massive episode?
I'm kind of sick of Halo. I don't want to talk about it. I think we should play this next flighting in just dead silence.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
I don't want to speak a word of it. No, it's been great. I'm so happy this week that I finally got to play Halo for the first time. Even though I missed out on one day of flighting and I thought the world was against me. I thought a meteor would crash into my house on the second day.
Yeah, Xbox just crashes.
And the third day, a plague of locusts eats my house. And
your house?
I don't know. I just feel like everything. I just feel like everything was going against me. But yeah, no. So yeah, I'm happy this week, and it was fun to talk about it. So
yeah, fucking was, man.
No closing words.
I've been itching to speak about it with you. So for those who have listened, I hope if you haven't played it, or maybe you have, I hope you've had a good time listening to us yabber a load of shit about it. We'll be talking about this again. It's Big Team Battle next week. This train doesn't end.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're at the stage where that marketing campaign is going to start picking up. Maybe we'll hear more about campaign in October. Yeah, I imagine October. So, boys and girls, thanks for listening. If you liked what you've heard today, hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter.
Share it.
We'd really appreciate
it.
Share
it to
your friend. And people, maybe colleagues.
Colleagues.
Maybe. That's fine too.
Share it on your work.
Yeah. Put it on LinkedIn. Put it on your case management system. We'll be back. We'll be back this time next week. You can sure bet that. Thanks for coming. Have a good sleep tonight. Take care of your loved ones.
Just end it!
Goodbye.